Right guys, welcome to the channel. I don't know if this is coming out really blurry, but it is on the screen that I can see here. I don't know if there's something wrong with the camera, but I'll have to do what I can with it and then see that it's really blurry. Anyway, hopefully there's not a problem with it. It's not an old camera, but anyway. This is a grain to glass video. I brewed a week and a half ago. I brewed a pale ale. It was a Huel, Melon and Simcoe pale ale. It's quite a long video, but I do, for people that haven't seen the shed before, behind me here, I do go through all of the equipment and everything and show you all that. So, you know, fast forward bits if you want, or watch it or whatever. Hopefully it's of use to some people, and you might find it mildly entertaining. So watch the footage that I've got of the brew day, and then we'll come back and we'll try the beer. See you in a sec. Hello guys, welcome to the channel. It's been bloody ages since I've done a video. So as a result, I thought what I'd do is take you into the shed, show you the setup, and show you what I'm brewing, and then we'll show you the setup first of all, and then we'll go on about what I'm brewing today. Right, so hold on a minute, let me just got this here, look. So got Brewfather here, so I was about to print that out because the printer weren't working earlier, so let me see if it's going to print. If not, it's not the end of the world. We'll go and do it off the phone or whatever. Right, so I'm just going over to the shed, as you'll see. Here we go. So just there, cleaning one of the fermenters, which I'll show you the other one in a sec. So go in here, into the shed, normal shed, load of crap on that side, all the brewing gear on this side. So what we've got here is two Buffalo boilers. There's I think it's a 2.6 kilowatt element at the bottom there, so you can see, oh probably not, can't see because it's hot, but basically at the bottom of these there's a plate, so you know, like you have with your kettles and things like that, so the element isn't exposed. So basically along that line there's like a plate that heats up, and that heats your water up. So it's just, I find it's a better way of sort of like keeping your water, keep your elements unexposed so they don't get rusty and all that sort of thing. That's why I like using these. This is a 40 litre pot. It says 40 litres. I think it's more about, I think that there's a line at the top there, you can't see it, but there's a line at the top that says max. I think it's more about 35 litres. And what have I done? I installed a proper ball valve and a sight glass that you can see here. So I've got just under 28 litres of water in there. Thermometer in, it's sitting at 80 degrees. So the idea is once that's around about 80 degrees, it's warmed up, I'll get it into here. So here's my mash tun. So you can see at the moment 8 degrees in there. I haven't as yet put any of the grain in, and in fact I've got to put that in first, which is well seen. So this, just the false bottom, slides down and goes to the bottom of there. I'll get it in. Nope, we'll do it properly. Easier said than done. There we go. There's a knack to it. There we go. Right, so that's in now. So false bottom in. It has like a rubber ring you can see going around there that sort of like stops any of the water going through underneath. Yeah, and that holds the grain basically. So this is the, I think it's 10 gallon SS Brewtech mash tun. So I'll get the grain in there in a minute, and then onto there goes my sparge arm and things. Over here, a second Buffalo boiler. So this one I use to do my mash water, and I boil the wort in there as well. This one is for my sparge water and for recirculation. So what I do is boil up in here to 80 degrees odd, something like that. It's quite cold today. Actually, it's getting warmer. This thing's running out of battery, you can see. That's the temperature in here. It's saying at the moment about 7 degrees, so not actually too bad. But I get this to about, say, 75 degrees or so, usually. Transfer out of there down to one of my pumps that I've got. So I've got two of the Keg Kingdom Pump 3000s or something, I think. Yeah, Brew Pump 3000, you just see there. I've got two of them down here. So I come out of here, go into one of them, and then I underlet, so the water comes up and into here when I've got my grain in, but I'll show you that working in a minute. So that's the first thing that I do when it's sort of 75 degrees. So the idea is when the water comes in here, it sits in there, and the temperature loss you get from there to there brings this down to about 65, 66 degrees, something like that. But I say, I'll show you that later on when it's doing. Then, once that's in there, I'll leave it for 25 minutes or so, and then it will come out of there into one of the pumps, and then into here. It's not leaking. Not at the moment, that looks okay. So into there, and then it goes in here. There's a coil, you can see. Oh, let me get it done. There's a coil in there, see that coil? So basically that coil, that goes in there, it goes round and round and round the coil, it comes out of there, and then back into here, and then back into there. And it goes, circles, round and round and round and round and round, and that's called recirculation. And we do that to try and maintain a temperature, and also it clears your wort, they say. So I like doing that, going into there. So this temperature, that's probably hot enough for that, so I'm going to turn that off for a sec. What I do, you try to maintain a temperature of 66 degrees. So hopefully what's going round and round and round and round maintains at 66 degrees. Again, I'll show you it working when it's on. To help you do that, in the back here, I plug this into this little T-joint. In that T-joint, there is like a thermometer. So that is controlled by this. There we go. So click that onto it. Click that onto the side there. That wire goes off to this box there, that grey box. In that grey box, let me show you this way, is a small little controller called a PID. Now I set that to be 66 degrees, and what it does is this box coming out of here, in fact no, that's going in, coming out of it, where's the out bit? One's in, one's out, where's the, oh, that is the out one. So that's out, coming in, goes up, and it controls this plug. And then what I do is I take the plug out of here for the boiler, plug it into there, push it on. Oh, it is on already. And basically what this does is it turns the power on and off to this plug. This plug is controlling this boiler. When the temperature here says, oh, I think I'm getting it to 66 degrees, or whatever you set it to, it turns off the heat. If it gets too low, it turns on the heat, but it's doing it regularly all the time, monitoring the temperature. Turns the plug on and off. Again, I'll show you it later on, because this will flash, that button there, that's the boiling button, will flash on and off, and it will show that it's turning the power on and off this to try and maintain that level of temperature to be 66 degrees. It's not completely 100% perfect, but you know, it works, and you can just leave it and it's kind of automated. So, you know, I might need to tweak it again in future. Anyway, so that's your recirculation. I do that, generally speaking, I mash for about 90 minutes. Once that's done, 90 minutes of that, towards the last half an hour of that, I ramp up the temperature. So from 66, I go up to 77. 77 tends to be what you think you should be sparging at. So 66 to 77, up that temperature in the last half an hour or so, so that hopefully at the end of the half an hour this is now at a temperature of about 77 degrees. Then I use the water that's in here to sparge or rinse the grain that's left. So what we do, once we get to that point of an hour and a half, I'll take the wort out of here, empty it, and it goes back into here, and then I boil it, and then we go through the process of adding hops and things like that. So that's the idea. This is really, I'm showing you the equipment that I've got here. So I've got the 2 boilers, the 2 Buffalo boilers, and the mash tun and the pumps, and I'll show you them all working a bit later on. Right, so what are we making today? Today we're making fairly simple-ish. It's a Huel Melon and Simcoe Pale Ale. I got the idea, I was going to do a Mosaic and Simcoe, but I got the idea from John Anderson, posted about a kernel pale ale that he had a little while ago on BrewTube and the Facebook site. Get on there if you're not on there, it's brilliant. He posted on there that he had a kernel pale ale, and it was fantastic. That was Huel Melon and something, I think it was Simcoe or Mosaic or something like that. I've got loads of Simcoe. I thought I'd do Huel Melon and Simcoe, and I'll try that. So there you go, that's where we are. Right, so in here, you can see that grain pre-crushed. I bought from, well, I got it from the malt miller, but obviously you can get it from anywhere. I've got now a grain crusher, a grain mill, but it broke. I've just picked up a new one today, so but I wanted to get brewing today, so I bought it crushed. In here I've got 5.13 kilos of Golden Promise, 210 kilos of pale crystal malt, that's 60 EBC, so very light, 175 210 grams of pale crystal, 175 grams of flaked oats, and 90 grams of carapils. I was meant to put quite a bit more carapils in there, but they didn't have any carapils, it was out of stock, so I had to use what I had left, and I only had 90 grams. It was meant to be about 180 grams, so what I did was, to keep the grain bill high, I added in some extra Golden Promise. It will come out what it comes out like. So, all of this, here we go, there, is going to get tipped into here. Right, done. So there is in total, oh fucking hell, I've got it up, but how much grain is there? Right, give me a minute. Okay, there's there's 5.6 kilos, so 5 kilos and 600 grams of grain in there now. So I tend to add 3 litres of water for every kilo of grain. So if I go multiplied by 3 is 16,815, so just under 17 litres I need to add. So I've got in here just under 28 litres, so I want to take this down to be about 10 litres in the sight glass, and then it'll be about right in there. So that's what I do. So to do that, I underlet. So to underlet means the water goes in underneath and it comes up in the mash tun. Some people add grain to water, some people put the grain in and add the water afterwards. I'm doing grain in, underletting up. Some people prefer different methods. This is, I find it's easiest. I've got the pumps, that's what you kind of really need to do, underletting. So let's link the pumps up and then I'll show you it working. See you in a minute. So right, so I've got them linked up now. So in here, the water in here, you can see, is at about 76 degrees. So there now, coming out of here, which I've opened up this ball valve, I've got a cam lock fitting there and some rubber tubing which goes into that bit, into the pump, and then out of the pump again, ball valve, cam lock fitting, coming out the pump and back up into the mash tun. So all I need to do now, in theory, is turn this pump on, drain this down from 28 to go down to 10. So then we'll have just, so 28, I need 17 litres, don't I? That would be nearly 18 litres, so I actually go down to 11. So the pumps here are controlled by these plugs. The bottom one is the bottom pump, and the one above is the pump just above. So if I switch this on, hopefully, you should see the water come out of here and go through here. Now this pump has been a little bit temperamental, so sometimes you need to give it a couple of goes before it pumps through. So I'll just take care of that and I'll come back when it's all up and running. It does help if you have all the taps open. That top was closed, which is why it wasn't working. So you can see now this is generally going down, so I need to get it to the bottom, and you'll see in here, look, there's a load of water coming in here. So let's switch this off, because we're now down to around about 11. So we were up at about 28 nearly, so 11 would have been 17, so we're about right in there. So what the idea now is I'll give this a good old stir. You can see the temperature's going up here. I'll give this a good old stir, and hopefully this will get up to about 66 by the time I've finished. We'll see. We'll see, and I'll come back in a minute. Okay, so I've mixed it around. So what you tend to do in here, you try and make sure, you see in there, you see that? So there you go. Try and make sure there isn't any dough balls. So dough balls are like when you've got clumps of the grain together, so you kind of mash them all up and stir them around if you've got any. Sometimes you're lucky you don't get any at all, but there are a few in there. So I just with a spoon, like a paddle that I call it, a paddle that we use, we mix it around and try and make sure that there's none of them there, so you've got like a nice smooth kind of porridgey like mixture in there. We're sitting now at 64.9, so it's slightly low, but I'm not too worried about that because I'm gonna use the recirculation. So I'm just gonna set that all up. Let's turn this on. It won't go anywhere because it's plugged in there. I'm going to get all this set up and then we'll start recirculating. I usually leave this for about 10 minutes or so while that's trying to sort itself out. So let me sort it out, connect it all up, we'll start recirculating, and I'll come and show you how it looks. So this is how it works. Let me show you. Right, there's round. Right, there we go. As you know, the wort was in there with the grain, so the water in the grain. That's where we are right now, slightly high, but it's okay. It comes out of here, goes into the pump, comes out of the pump, goes up into that coil that's in there, goes round around the coil, comes out, goes in there, and then in here comes out like this. So that's the recirculating the wort, going round and round and then coming back out again. Now this, let me go back to the side a sec, let me show you, it's coming out there a bit rapid, so I can turn that down like this. I slow it down a bit, you'll see, you can hear it still coming out a bit rapid. Let's slow it down a little more. You notice that this should slow down a touch. And it's not bubbling up so much down there. That's all fine. Let's keep it going nicely. And it does that, so as I say, it's slightly high, 66.9. There's a discrepancy slightly between this 66.5 that says, so coming out of the back of that T joint there, going there, that's registered in 66.5, whereas in here it's saying 66.9, so it's, you know, a slight discrepancy between them. It's not the end of the world. As long as it doesn't go too high, that's fine. And because that is 66, so there you go, look, you can see it, see that? Every once in a while it just pops it, there you go, on, off. So that's the plug here. There you go, on, off. So that's this basically controlling this plug. So yeah, that's doing that. So I'll leave that. How long we got left? So that counter is going down until I have to start ramping up the temperature. So when I need to ramp up the temperature, I just come and change this, that top setting, or sorry, the bottom setting, the green one. Get around this way, a bit easier to see. The green one, I change to say 77, and then this will come on constantly and it will warm it up. And so hopefully after half an hour or so, it's at 77 degrees. Bro, so I'll be back in a bit. I'm going to have a cup of tea. Just to show you what's going on. That, as you can see back there, I've upped it to 77. So it's now, this is now fully on all the time. It's going on that plug back there, as you see, it's fully on. So basically it's just going to work its way round now. You see there's a bit of a difference between what it's saying in there and what that's saying, quite a big difference at the moment, but I'm not too worried about that. You're never going to get that the same as over there. I'll just try and keep this as close to sort of 77. What the idea is, once this is done, so this is how long, so that's how long we got left doing this. So another 12.5 minutes. You can see it in there, just about. Once this is done, I then change the setup in here to do the sparging. So sparging is when you rinse through the grain. So you drain everything that's in here, move it into here. So you'll see I'm now set up down in here. I've got a big pipe that goes all the way down to the bottom. All that does is, so I'll come out of here into one of these pumps, I don't know which one, top one probably, and it will go up into here. And you do it really, really slowly, and you collect it nice and slow. And as you're draining that out of here, you add more water going through here into here. So it's you don't have to go through the thing basically. Well, I do anyway. So I do go through the coil in there, and yeah, basically we do that and sparge through till we get to here. I usually collect 30 litres or so, something like that, to make sure that once I have my boil off, I've got to double check. I'll double check that. I usually 30 or 31 litres, I think. Once I have my boil off, and you get your bit at the bottom, so you've got quite a big sort of gap. So that gap there. So you, at the end of the day, once your beer's done, you'll filter it out, draw it out, get it into a fermenter. But you've got like your dead space, as they call it. So below that tap, there's, you know, a fairly sizable dead space. That there is not used because within that is where your element is. So the bottom of the actual boiler is this line here. So there's your dead space. You can, and I have on many occasions, tip this up. So when you get to pouring it out, just give it up, tip like that, just to get your final bits. You want to get 21, 22 litres into a fermenter. Where's my other fermenter? There's my other one. So that one is my second fermenter. Over there is my first fermenter. You can see, either my first one, whatever. One was first, one was second, I don't know which. So in there I've got some star san. I'll show you actually. Let's walk out there. So in here, there's just some star san that I'll sloosh around there, make sure that's all sanitized and everything. And this hose, by the way, let me just show you, it's not connected up. It was connected. There's a tap just outside there going into here, which goes up into this bad boy, which is a reverse osmosis water system. So essentially your house water comes in, these filters, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 filters, they filter the whole thing. That's a pump there. They filter it out and remove all the dissolved solids that are in there, so you should get sort of pure water coming out. It's great for pale ales, IPAs, wheat beers, things like that, the lighter beers. Not necessarily for some of your stouts and porters and things. I think I'm possibly going to use bottled water for them going forward, because I think it tends to give you better results. Anyway, so up here, this little reader, it's the tedious meter. It's how tedious my videos are. Yeah, so no, it's not. Total dissolved solids. You switch it on, it tells you how much is going in. So you've got I can't remember which one is, red one and a blue one, that measure the in and the outs from the water. And when I was measuring it yesterday when I was collecting, I had something like 360 odd going in and 7 coming out. So it doesn't completely remove absolutely every single bit, but a hell of a lot of them, obviously. Anyway, look, how long have we got left? I've yammered on for 5 minutes, so let's see later on where we are with that. And oh yeah, I never showed that. Look, bugger all at the moment. Tap beer list, tap 1. Didn't quite get to it, so I'll get that up there eventually. Anyway, look, I'm going on a bit, so I'll come back when I'm sparging. So now we're sparging. So we're coming, the water that's sitting in here, yep, is coming out here. It's going to go into the bottom pump. You can see I've sort of like got that turned quite far down this moment. This comes out of here, up into the coil, back out again, and then it goes in here. So what we've got, all we've got coming out of there, dripping out now, is just the water, which, you know, is 77, as I say, at the moment. So I'm going to keep doing that. I'll keep an eye on that to make sure that it stays about 77. Anyway, in here, look, it's saying 79 in there at the moment, which is fine, don't worry about it. It comes out of there, goes round into the top pump, and then out, and then up, and then into here, where it's slowly, if you can see that, slowly sort of filling this up. So I'll keep an eye on this. It's not even showing in there yet, so once it fills up a bit more, it'll show in there. So I keep an eye on this, and hopefully this process lasts about an hour. So I'm started at about 20 past 1. Yeah, I just keep an eye on it and just do the bits as and when I need it, because I find that this doesn't do it as well when sparging, the PID, so I kind of do it on a manual basis. So I kind of turn it on and off and on as and when I need it, and I'll try and keep that to be about 77-ish. So it doesn't really need any temperature in the moment, as you can see. So yeah, so cool. Keep an eye on that, and I'll show you a bit later on what I do while I'm collecting this. So sort of part way through it, oops, sorry, just kicked the lid. Part way through it, I get my refractometer out, which is in here, and I measure the pre-boil gravity. I just need to check what I'm looking for. Pre-boil, okay, I just need to find out. It's on there somewhere. Pre-boil gravity 1043. So I need 10. So it needs to be 1043, and I'll show you what I'm getting when we get to it. Cheers. See you later. So we managed to get 30, just under 30 litres. Actually, it never happened before, but actually the mash time ran out. I've either got a bit of a stuck mash or it's run out of water, and I've never had it run out of water before. But anyway, managed to get 30 litres, I'm happy with that. And 1046, I don't know if this is going to work. Can this... I don't know if you can see that. It's basically at 1046. If not, I'll whack in things. I took a photo of it with my phone. So 10:46, so slightly higher, 3 points higher than what we were aiming for. We were at 10:43, end up at 10:46. That's fine. It's not the end of the world. Might be slightly stronger, but not. It's not going to be much in it. We're aiming for a post boil, so an original gravity of 10:49. So that's what we're looking for. Recipe. This I've now got, bringing it up to the boil. When that boils, we're going to have at 60 minutes, a 60-minute boil. At 60 minutes, there we go. 10 grams of Warrior. It was going to be Magnum, but I didn't have any Magnum, but I had some Warrior. So 10 grams of Warrior. And at 10 minutes, 15 grams of Huel Melon and 15 grams of Simcoe. At 25, no, not at 25 minutes. Then chill down. Go to 85 degrees. About 85 degrees. Chill down. And I'm going to do 35 grams of Huel Melon and 35 grams of Simcoe. And then I've got a dry hop 80 grams of Huel Melon and 80 grams of Simcoe, a 3-day dry hop. So it's all about the aroma in this one. Protofloc will go in at 10 minutes. I've got that in with the hops. But yeah, we'll come back when I'm putting in some hops, but I mean, I don't really show you that, but I will. I'll show you putting in the hops and things like that, and we'll come back for that. This has got to get to boil. It's about 60 degrees. Right, we just right, okay, clip them up. That's fine. I think I lost about 2 pellets. I think. Okay, we've just achieved boil. I'm going to whack in 10 grams. 10 grams of Warrior is going to go in. Whoop-de-doo. I'm going to check that I haven't dropped any more on the floor. But 10 grams of Warrior going in. I'm going to set the timer for 50 minutes. Because I don't have to do anything till 10 minutes to the end. I've already put the thingbob in, the chiller, the water chiller is in there. I'll come back to what I do with that later on, and I'll show you. 50 minutes, I'm going to pick the kids up and be back in time for the next 10-minute hot drop. Right, so the alarm has just gone off for 50 minutes. So I've got 10 grams of Huel Melon. Do have to open this one a bit more careful. 10 grams of Huel Melon and 10 grams of Simcoe in here, and Protofloc. That's all going to go in. So let's chuck the Protofloc to the side. Get the fizz. Yeah, fizzing away. And there we go. So 10 grams of each have gone in there. And that's that for that one. So 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, we'll go off. And then I'll switch the chiller on. In fact, I'll get the chiller wired up now to the hoses. And I'll be back in a minute. Right, so alarm just went off. I've powered off, turned off. I can turn it off up here actually. Right, so completely off at the plug, off at everything in the boiler that is, and I'm now running cold water through here. I want to get to 80 degrees through the chiller. Cold water comes in, hot water comes out this side. Put the hot water into the mash tun because it then can use that for cleaning and stuff like that. I'm at 87 already. It comes down so fast, it's ridiculous. 86 now, 85 now, so I'm going to get it down to about 82 or something like that, then I'll switch off, because I do recirc at the same time, and I'll show you that in a minute, because I'll recirc afterwards for a Whirlpool, and I'll show you that working. But yeah, all hunky-dory. Right, done. It really does, quite surprising how quickly that drops, that temperature. So I'm at 81.3 now, which is good enough. So I'm going to start to recirc. I'll do it for 25 minutes. So what I want to do is my last addition to the wort. So I'm going to put this in. This is 35 grams of Huel Melon, 35 grams of Simcoe. Oh, it smells amazing. So it's going to go in. We're at 80 degrees. And I'll show you. Right, so let's go 10, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 25-minute Whirlpool edition. Right, so let me show you. Right, I'm going to have to take it off because you're going to spin around if I don't. So, comes out of here, through the pump, out of the pump, back up. And I've got a short bit of hose there. I should just lift it out a bit. It's not particularly long. It's, you know, whoa, there you go, so long. It's got water everywhere. Works. Right, so that sort of goes in and it whirlpools it all around. You can't really see it working too effectively there, but it does. You have to trust me. It does. It whirlpools. It's whirlpooling underneath anyway. Is it moving there? So yeah, that's the whole point. It kind of whirlpools around this. So that's how I do my whirlpooling anyway. So 25 minutes. While that's doing, I'll come out and take you over here a sec. I've got my plate chiller here. Looks a bit worse for wear on the sides, but never mind. And I just give that a good clean. So in this, I've got a load of Star San. So basically take that Star San out, run it through here, run it through there, out of there, and then back in again, and it just goes round and round. So just a way of cleaning my plate chiller. Then after 25 minutes and that's done, we'll chill down to pitching temp, and then we'll pitch in the USO5, which I don't think I told you, USO5 yeast, and I'll show you that in a minute. Boom. Okay, I thought I'd show you this working. You can see there, that's the temperature of the wort now that's sitting in tank. It's coming out there, going into the pump and out again, through the heat exchanger, out of the heat exchanger, through here, and then into here, and it's coming out. That's the temperature that's in there at the moment. It's going up slightly, but 18 degrees, that's fine, as long as I collect all of that at 20 degrees. So the cold water goes in there, the blue, it's coming out here, the green, and it's just going onto the grass at the moment. So I just every once in a while just give this a chuck, and I can feel that that's warm coming out of there. I've got a load of warm water in here already that I can clean up with. That's pretty much ready to go. It's all it's had is just some Star San going through it, so I'll give it a quick wipe round. When this is finished, I'll put some citric acid in here and clean that up. But yeah, no, it's going very well. It's been a great brew day. I'll just be back to pitch the yeast in a minute. So like I said, USO5. Just had to get some scissors and sanitize them quickly. So all I'm going to do is sprinkle it in. Now, I posted a question up on BrewTube group, Facebook group, about rehydrating or just sprinkling in. Pretty conclusive, sprinkle it straight in. So that's literally what I'm doing here. Wart's at about 19 degrees. I keep calling it wort, I want to call it wort. Someone pointed out to me, it's W-O-R-T, which I would normally say is wort. But they go, we don't go to walk, do you? So I go to work, so it's wort. That's the way I look at it now anyway. So that's in. Oh yeah, one other thing I want to do. Oops, crash. Before I close up. Whoa. Getting a lost drink out there. Is plonk this in. This is a tilt hydrometer. I've used them before, it's not the first time. I've got a red one and a green one. This is just going to go straight in. Again, like everything else, it's been sanitised, so I can plonk the top on here now. Actually, before I do that, I'll be back in a minute. Sorry guys, had to do the original gravity reading. So we're looking at about 1048, almost bang on 1048, which is, there we go, 1048. We wanted 1049, I think I was banging for, so 1 point. Where are we? Yeah, original gravity 1049, 1048, which is strange seeing as the refractometer reading was so high, but I think my refractometer might be out anyway. Cheers guys, it's lovely and clear. Don't know if you can see that, you can't really see it very well there, but it is beautifully clear. For wort, that's not bad. So all that to do, what I might do actually is show you how the tilt works with the gravity reading, and how it works in Brewfather, which is the app that I use. I might tag that onto the end of this just to show you how it is. Anyway, great brew day, went really well. Really pleased. I've just got to clean up and then I'll be done. This will be a really long video, I'm sorry about that, but yeah, it's been, in my mind, worth it. Hopefully it's been worth it for you. You might have seen a few things that you haven't done before in the shed. Any questions, give us a thing down the bottom. Anyway, thanks very much, and I'll see you hopefully soon for probably a stout, I think. Yeah, cool, bang. Right, so welcome back to the haze. Pardon me. That was obviously the brew day, and here is the finished product. A bit of advertising, there you go. So again, because of the shitty camera at the moment, probably not doing it real justice, but it's a lovely sort of orangey colour. See if I can show you. I mean, there's no real sort of, like, you can't really see it, it's not clear at all. There you go. Beautiful sort of orange colour, no clarity on it. It's very, very thick. That doesn't bother me. I'm not bothered about clarity. Nice thick beer equals flavour, as far as I know. You can't see my head when I do that. Equals flavour to me. On the nose, it's not massive sort of aroma really. Yeah, there's some fruitiness there, but it's not huge as it sort of burst out of the glass. But you know, it's not bad. Not bad carbs. Sort of head's okay. Bubbles streaming up. Let's go and have a sip. That's a good pale ale. Is it gonna win awards? Is it gonna knock everyone going, wow, that's the most amazing thing ever? No, I don't think so. It's got a bit clearer now. It has, isn't it? No, I don't think so. It's not gonna, you know, it's not gonna blow anyone away, but it's nice. It's fresh. It's juicy. You know, it's a good, solid pale ale. Nice mouthfeel. Oh, me. Burp of satisfaction. You can't do better than that. Yeah, not bad. So I'm quite happy with that, the way that's turned out. Oh, pardon me. Might not sound it. It doesn't actually sound that I'm happy with it, does it? But it's nice. Trust me. Trust me. It's a nice beer. it's a nice pale ale. It's yeah, it is. So I don't know if you can hear in the background. You hear that? So there, point to it there. That white block you can see down there is the fermenter, and that is fermenting the God, it's a bit gassy. It's fermenting the tonka bean and bourbon stout. There's tonka beans. There's no bourbon in it at the moment. It's an imperial stout. I'll just show you where we are at the moment. So that was brewed on Sunday. Oh, I'm doing the wrong thing. That was brewed on Sunday, and it came out about 105. So high, very high gravity. I'm going to get loads of messages pinging up on this as I show you this. So I'll show you now, if I can show you. Is that going to do it? Yeah, it is. There we go. So that's where we are now. So don't know if you can see that. 1068. Yeah, there you go. 1068. It's just ploughing through it at the moment. So it's been a few days. It smells, well, sorry, it's got a bit orange. It smells fantastic in here. Just a real sort of chocolatey, sort of vanilla-y kind of smell. I'm guessing that's the tonka beans, but I'm really hopeful that this is going to come out well. This, I think, was a success. It's nice, juicy pale ale. Yeah, it's good. It's good. So it's not bitter. It's nice. It's refreshing. It's not bad. So I like it. I do. Thanks everyone. I'll try and get this up on Wednesday. It's Tuesday today. I'm going to do a bit of editing on this, and I'll try and get this up on Wednesday. So if I do, happy Homebrew Wednesday. I rarely get any videos up, let alone get them up on a Wednesday. So I'll see what I can do for this one. But cheers guys. Please like, subscribe, leave comments, and I'll answer back. You know, I'm trying to get more stuff on the channel. I haven't put anything out for ages. I've got 200 odd people that subscribe to my channel. I'm like, what the hell are they doing? God knows. So, but anyway, thank you for those that are watching. And I'll see you again soon. Cheers. Yeah, it's good.
You put the beer in the coconut and drink it all up. You put the beer in the coconut and throw the can away.